Now this is going to be a quick look at my first run through this detour. So you get my first impressions of what it was like when I didn't even know this detour existed. I had no idea where it went. I didn't know where the signage was. I had no idea where to go. And to cap it off, I was riding into the sun, which made it harder to see things. So this first part was really good until we get up to the corner on Railway Parade, and I almost followed those plastic bollards on the road. And at the last moment I went, oh geez, I've got to get up here on the pavement onto the footpath. And yeah, that was a really close run thing. I thought that was terrible, and what I didn't want to do is end up on the road there with vehicles coming up behind me. Coming down here, I had no idea this bike lane existed, so I missed the entrance to it, which was not that smart. But when I got to here, I was confused about where I was supposed to go because I couldn't see any signage. Was I supposed to go through this underpass or continue on down the road? Because it was absolutely not obvious where I was supposed to be going, because for all I know, the detour was supposed to go into that underpass, and I'd find my way back on the road. And I eventually found the sign which took me up to this corner and a right-hand turn. So yeah, that wasn't good either. When I got to here, it was reasonably obvious where I was supposed to go, but when I got across the road here, again, I completely missed the signage and ended up here on the footpath. And I didn't know if I was supposed to be on the footpath or out there on the road. And as you can see, that white car drove into that kind of pseudo bike lane there to go around the speed hump. So if I had gone onto the road, I might have been clobbered by that car. And of course, by then being out here on the road, it was a matter of, well, how do I get across there into the car park? And I was following this other cyclist because I thought they might have known where they were going, but they were going somewhere different, or they were lost as well. So I ended up having to do a U-turn to go back to the car park because, I have ridden through the car park before to get across the railway line. So I knew this bit, but I really didn't know where the detour was supposed to go between the traffic lights and this car park. So the signage, it's just not well placed. First ride back in the other direction. Now, obviously at this point, I've come through from the other direction, so I've got a reasonable idea now of where I'm supposed to be going, which helps a hell of a lot. It's really just a matter of reversing course, and I was tossing up whether I should stay on this path or go out on the road, and I decided I'd stick to the path, which in hindsight, as I've shown in the other videos, probably not the best move for a confident cyclist. Going on the road and crossing over at the lights would have been better, but what the heck. But I was looking at the signage from this direction showing me where to go, and I'm just slowing it down here to 1/3 speed so we can see just how invisible the signage is. And remember, the camera's on my handlebars, so it's got a different sight line. I completely missed that sign hiding up there behind the tree. And originally I was going to cross there because I thought, well, that's kind of the obvious looking place to go across, and then kind of had a better look and worked out where to go. But that signage over on the left, hidden in the shadows, completely out of my sight line, provided no information about crossing the road here to the right. And now when I did get across to the lights, I then couldn't see the signage over there telling me to go across there and turn right because it's nicely hidden behind a light. So that wasn't great either. Coming back in this direction, obviously I knew where to go and I knew there was a bike lane there, but I didn't know whether I should stay on the road through this section. Oh, there goes someone using the underpass, or get over here and use the bike lane. And so thought, well, I'll use the bike lane, but then I got to here and thought, oh, well, now I've got to cross the road to get back on the other side. This thing, if I didn't know that was there, I would have missed it. I really do think there needs to be maybe a pavement marking put in here to essentially direct you into this pathway, because it's just not obvious. It's well hidden behind all that shrubbery, and the sign really doesn't stand out. Now let's just have one last look at this intersection of Watley Crescent and was it Railway Parade from this direction, and those plastic bollards there on the left really need to go. I think they completely confuse a cyclist. Look, they're good for maybe keeping drivers out of that particular stretch of stuff. Don't know why. But for cyclists, no. Well, they should follow that white line. And again, I think a pavement marking around that corner to show you where to go would be very useful. So look, on the whole, it's a pretty good detour, but the wayfinding really isn't up to scratch.